If your forehand isn't improving as much as you want, I'm going to help you with that in this video because I'm going to explain what you need to work on to help you get more power and spin and control. So hopefully you find the video helpful. If you do, it'd be great if you give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel before, it's much appreciated if you could do that as well. So what I can't do in this video is give you one simple tip or explain one aspect of the technique that you should focus on that's going to give you more power and spin and control. And the reason that I can't do that is because that's not the way that tennis works, and that's not the way improving your forehand works. That's probably what you've been doing wrong up until this point that's prevented you from improving, because unfortunately that tends to be the way that tennis is coached these days. When you watch most tennis lessons, the coach is highlighting a specific aspect of the forehand and telling you to go out and work on that, and it's going to solve your problems. And maybe it will, but most of the time it won't, because the way that you actually improve your strokes is you fix the underlying problem. So there's no magic to getting more power and spin and control. It's going to be different for every single player based on whatever their problems are at the moment. So if your problem is that you need to prepare and set up in better positions, so maybe you're late to react, maybe you don't set up the right distance from the ball, then that's what you need to focus on. If instead you're focusing on the precise biomechanics, so you're trying to copy the way that pros hit their forehand, you're trying to drive through your hip, you're trying to create a good racket lag using external rotation and supination of the forearm, you're then trying to throw the racket at the ball, get a good clean contact, watch the ball through to contact, and having an optimal follow through. All of those things are technically correct based on analyzing professional tennis players, but they're not the thing that you need to do to get more power or spin and control. Because if you don't prepare and set up in the right positions, that's the thing that you need to focus on. And the reason that I focus on this part of the forehand so much in my content is because that's what the vast majority of players need to work on. I see a lot of video footage from players. I get videos coming in from all around the world, and regardless of what country people play in, regardless of what level they play at, it's only once you get to the 5-0 levels and above that stops being the problem for generally all players. So what I highly recommend that you do is you record yourself playing tennis, ideally playing points, but if not, just rallying, or even on a ball machine, you watch it back and look at what you're doing, and then figure out what the underlying problem is. And for the vast majority of you, and I mean the vast majority of you, it's going to be your preparation. So once you've recorded yourself and worked out the underlying problem, whether that's to do with the preparation or whether it is to do with some other aspect of the stroke, you then have to structure your practice and work on things in the right way to fix the underlying problem. The only way to develop more power and spin and control is to fix the underlying problem. And that means working on the right thing at the right level of difficulty, and this is really important, working on it for long enough to develop a new habit. So I'm going to use one aspect of preparation. I'm going to use spacing. And again, the reason that I'm using this is because 99% of the players that send me videos for analysis, this is the problem, not any of the other stuff, but you then have to structure your practice to fix the spacing. So what this might look like, I might be feeding myself a specific forehand. So it might be a simple neutral stance forehand where I'm going to step in and I'm going to hit from a neutral stance. Every time I'm hitting that forehand, all I'm thinking about is setting up the right distance from the ball. Yes, I want to hit a good shot. I want the ball to go in, but I'm not evaluating myself on whether the ball goes in. I'm evaluating myself on whether I actually get the good spacing in between me and the ball. So I work on that with a neutral stance forehand, and then maybe I set up a slightly different forehand. So now maybe I'm going to work on an open stance forehand. And again, the thing that I'm focusing on is the spacing from the ball. I'm not evaluating myself on where the shot goes. Again, obviously I want it to land in. I'm evaluating myself on how far I am away from the ball. And you work on a variety of different forehands like that, just focusing on the spacing. And then maybe you start to rally with partners. So you're just doing a cross-court rally. And again, just thinking about the spacing. and you focus on it over and over again, and this is probably going to have to be several thousand repetitions done well until you develop the habit of having better spacing. And by correcting your spacing, that is then going to allow you to use much better biomechanics, and it's going to allow you to start to improve your timing. It's going to help to fix and improve your contact point, which is going to lead to a better follow through. And this is the way you have to approach it. Whatever the underlying problem is for you, you have to figure it out by recording yourself, watching it back. Try not to get distracted by shiny objects and kind of what the pros do. You've got to look at your technique, where is it going wrong, and then you've got to structure your practice in a sensible way and work on things to develop new habits. And that is what you need to work on to get more power and spin and control. If you're past that point and it's not preparation that you need to fix and not spacing that you need to fix, you would do the exact same process with trying to improve your timing or trying to improve extension through contact or whatever else it is that you need to work on. It's the same process that you're going to follow, and that's the only way to make meaningful improvements. So hopefully that makes sense. There is something else that you might need to do in order to really develop a better forehand, and that comes down to skill, because everything that you do in tennis, whether it's setting up the right distance from the ball, whether it's having good timing so you can meet the ball out in front, whether it's making adjustments to hit different types of forehands, there's a skill component. You need to have sufficient levels of hand-to-eye coordination, and that's something that you can actually improve using brain-based training. If you'd like to learn how to do that, I'm holding a Neuro Tennis Challenge pretty soon, where I'm going to be teaching players how to improve their skills using brain-based training. I'll place a link to it down in the description. If you're interested, click on that link and go and register. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Hopefully this has made sense. If you have any questions about what I've covered here today, leave a comment down below, and I'll catch you next time.